Everybody, this is Melissa here, and it's a beautiful day here in Cork. The sun is shining, and I hope the sun is shining wherever you are today. I'm going to give you as much as I can, as much information as I can, should I say, about the mindfulness course that I've been doing for the past 4 weeks. Now, before I get into it, I would like to say that this course has been absolutely amazing. It has given me great insights to myself, to my emotions, my well-being, my thought patterns, and my actions, the way I do things. And it's also a great way of cutting out all the patterns that we want to get rid of. Say if you have a bad habit like overeating, smoking, drinking too much, or maybe not getting motivated, just sitting down, being lazy, or it could be an array of different things basically. Maybe you want to improve your diet, your health, maybe you want to create something in your life, maybe you want to get a new job. It's across the board basically. It can help you with many things, because when you understand how the brain functions basically, you're able to more understand why you do the things you do, and you'll actually become aware more quickly when you start to do those things on autopilot, and you'll be able to catch them and basically break the routine and start to put in a good routine of the things that you want to create in your life. We'll say like healthy eating, or maybe you want to get a new job, you want to start your resumes or your CVs, or just to become more aware basically with your family, spend more time, listen a bit more. All these things basically can go across the board to anything. For me, what I wanted it for was just to get to know myself a little bit more, and to cut out all the stuff, the negative thoughts that we all have, and to stop worrying about things, because I have tendencies to worry about things in the future, or sometimes I could think about the past and I could get upset about it, like most people basically. But since I had been meditating for a couple of years, and I had kind of been studying mindfulness on my own, we'll say, I never did actual course, but I had read about it and I had researched it, and I knew that this was the next stage for me to actually take it on and to just actually have somebody train me how to do this for myself, and just to be guided basically, you know, instead of doing it on my own. And I can tell you it was the most fantastic thing that I've done. So anyway, basically, if you want to go deeper into this, you can go back on my channel. I have a couple of videos on it. So what I will do is link them below into the description box, and you can go and check those out. They're really valuable, and there's some great information there. A lot of it is my own journey, but you can apply it to any area of your life, so I really do suggest you watching that. Now, to break it down briefly, with mindfulness, basically it's about awareness. When you're aware, you are giving 100% to the thing that you're doing at that moment, whether it's cooking, whether it's creating a YouTube video, whether it's spending time with your loved one, your husband, your children, your boyfriend, your friends, in college, out in nature. Maybe you're just at the seaside and you're watching the sea and you're hearing all the birds, the seagulls, and the people around. So basically it's like getting in touch with all your senses. Also, when you're eating your food, you get more in touch with the taste and the senses, the smell, you know, all these things are very important. And these are many of the reasons why people have bad diets, have bad health, and are in jobs they don't love, or in relationships that are not suitable for them. Basically all the things that we have in our life that's not meant for us, we're doing on autopilot, and this means that basically we're not really aware. Now, to go through it briefly, I don't want to go too deep into the whole anatomy of the brain, but I'll try and make it as simple as possible. Our brain has evolved basically over 1 million years. So there are 3 areas to the brain that we learned about on the first week, which was the reptilian brain, the limbic brain, and the neocortex. The neocortex would be the newest part of our brain. It's the biggest part, and this part of the brain would be more flexible, and it would be the higher mind, we'll say, of our brain. It's more aware, it's got consciousness, so this is the part of the brain that really works for us. Then we have the limbic system and the reptilian brain, which they like to put together, as they call them, the primitive brain. This is the part of the brain that all our bad experiences are recorded, all our good experiences are recorded there. So childhood memories, all these things, thinking to the future, thinking to the past. All these things are stored there. Also, all our patterns, like what we do in the morning, all our routines are there, and all our bad patterns, our bad habits. And basically, there's a part of the brain as well that never sleeps. And even when we're sleeping, you know, all the noises that we hear, this is the part that picks it all up and it stores in our mind, basically. So it's an amazing course, really. Like to go through the whole thing about the brain and the anatomy of it and how it functions. It's very deep, and I would suggest people to go here on YouTube and to click into any videos that are on the subconscious mind and the reptilian brain, all about the brain and the limbic system and the neocortex. If you put it in there to YouTube, you will definitely get more information on it. As I say, I'm just going to go through this quickly because I don't want this video to be too long. But basically, anyway, you get my message that basically all our patterns, our bad habits, and all those things come from that area of the brain, the primitive brain, which is made up of the reptilian brain and the limbic system. So basically, this part of the brain is rigid, it's not flexible. And it also controls our emotions, it controls our breathing, it controls all these things. So that's where mindfulness comes into play, because we actually can get around this. The good news is that it's not all out of our control. There's a reason why our brain functions like this. Is because we're in survival mode. If you think back into the cave times, we'll say, when people were in the Stone Age, when they woke up in the morning, they didn't know if there was going to be, we'll say, a wild animal outside, or they didn't know where they were going to get their food. They had to hunt, so they were in survival mode. So this part of the brain is the survival mode. This is why we do things without thinking. We take action sometimes without looking at the consequences. So when you understand all this, you don't really feel guilty and you don't have to feel bad, because it's like you understand that this is the way our brain functions, and this is how we're made, and we need these instincts. We need to have survival, and we need to have all these things, but we also need to have awareness, because the awareness is what actually makes everything possible for us. All our dreams that we want to do, the places you want to go, and the feelings, the happiness that you want to have, all these things depend on awareness. What we don't understand is most people, they're going through life, not most people, all people, we go through life on autopilot. An example would be you're driving your car and you're not aware, because it's something that's built in, it's something you've learned, so it's a learned pattern, and it's here in the, we'll say, like the reptilian brain, and or the primitive brain, and basically you're thinking about your shopping, or you could be thinking about a conversation you had last week with a friend of yours, or you're probably thinking about that holiday that you're going on next year. So this is what autopilot means, and most of our daily experiences are done that way. We get up a repetition every day. We have our breakfast, we brush our teeth, we have routines basically that we slip into, you know, and that's why most people cannot, when they have an idea and they want to put something out there, like we'll say, for instance, if I wanted to create this YouTube channel, and I have my patterns of getting up every day, and I have children obviously, so I'm going to be busy with them, and then I would say that I spend a lot of time on the computer and I'm watching videos, and then I'm doing my cooking, and I'm doing all this on autopilot, because this is a routine basically that you know, that I'm used to. But if I'm aware, when I get up, more aware, okay, I'm having my breakfast, what am I eating for my breakfast? I'm choosing my foods basically, what is it going to make me feel like? So we'll say I choose a green juice opposed to a cereal, okay, with milk. And then I drink my juice and I taste my juice. This is what mindfulness is. I taste the juice, I feel the juice in my body, and afterwards I actually sense how this juice is making my body feel. And obviously it's going to make me feel amazing, because I'm after making this juice myself, and it's going to give me more energy, it's going to make me feel great for the day. If I opposed to sitting down just eating the cereal, the dead cereal with just milk, which I'll probably feel heavy afterwards, or I won't feel energy from it, it's just more of a filling. more than a life force food. So this is where I would put it into my life. Everybody's different. But this is what I'm saying about awareness. Also, if there was an art you wanted to do, say maybe you like to write poetry, but you can't find the time to slot it in, or maybe you want to create a better YouTube channel and you can't find the time to slot it in. Maybe you want to get a new job, but you can't find the time to slot it in to basically research that job, make a better CV. It's because of your patterns, basically. You're on autopilot, the things you do every day, and the negative thoughts that are telling you that you don't have time. But with awareness, you actually will start to become more aware of the things that make you, that hold you back, basically, from doing the things that you want to do. So another example would be, we'll say that you wanted to get a new job, okay? And the reason you're not looking for the new job is because the job that you're in at the moment, you're paying your rent for your home with it, and you're worried that your family won't be able to survive if you give up this job to go for the job of your dreams. Maybe that job won't pay you as highly at the start or something like that. So this is all the kind of things that happen. It's repetition, you know, it's survival mode, like what I was saying. But in fact, what you are doing to yourself is you're holding yourself back, because deep in the subconscious mind, it records everything, and everything we repel because we have to survive. Basically, it affects our body, it affects our emotions. So I showed you about the pyramid before. So we'll say at the top of the pyramid would be the mind, and we'll say here on the pyramid would be the emotion, and here would be the body or the action, okay? So everything we do from the mind affects the emotion. So what emotion do you have when you think about that job that you really, really want to be in? You probably feel great, you're excited, you're motivated, and then the result from that is your body feels good, you feel energized, you're happy, you know. Whereas then if you stay in the job that you're not happy in, your mind is in negative thoughts. Oh, I have to do this again today. You're in a routine that you're not happy in, and then the emotion is all, you know, down, you automatically, your posture, everything is like, you know what I mean, in the downward position. And then the body is like, we'll say, or the action is, you don't get much really done. You're working on autopilot. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it, you know. So this can go to anything. It can go to your health, we'll say your diet, it can go to your jobs, it can go to spending time with your children, it can go to the simplest thing, or even being just a creative person. Maybe you like to write and you're procrastinating. Maybe you like to sing, maybe you like to create music, maybe you want to create more makeup looks on your channel. Whatever it is, it all starts with a thought. And the minute you take action, you get the result, you get the emotion, you get the good feeling in your body. Because the scientific facts behind this is that when we don't do the things that we really want to do, it does affect our health and it affects our emotions. Now, I know there's certain times in our lives where we have to put things off, or for health reasons, or maybe it's just not the right time to leave a job. But what I would say, when you're in situations like this, you have to have a future vision and be tipping away in the background to get yourself there. Even if it takes a year, if it takes a year and a half, whatever, you have that vision and you keep moving along to it. So this is the benefits that I got out of this mindfulness. For me, I got great clarity, because I can kind of see now where I'm going to go in my life. I'm grateful. I've become so grateful for the things that I've had in my past, the things that are in my present, the people, my surroundings. I can also see the things that I don't want in my life, and I'm starting to realise that some of the things I have to let go of. So at the end of this course, what I want to get across here is that I'm no way perfect, and my life hasn't just magically become amazing, but it's a life practice. But at least now I have the base, and I know how to continue and get along with it, basically. So what we did on the course was we had 4 weeks theory and we had 4 weeks practice. So they gave us some basic exercises as well to take out, because they wanted the mind basically to get in touch with the body. And this is very important, because when your mind is disconnected from the body, and you're on autopilot, this is how we get sick, this is how we don't realize when something is wrong, and we can't basically help ourselves. So what was an amazing thing was, the more I was using mindfulness, I could actually sense things in my body. When I was in a negative situation with somebody, or if somebody started saying things to me that I wasn't comfortable with, I was aware, even though I had the negative thoughts or whatever in my mind, I just kind of let them go. But I also was sensing my body, and what I found was, for me, that in my tummy area is where I get kind of tight, or sometimes in the back of my neck. So what I'm saying is, a lot of the times when we're in situations like that, we don't actually realize how much it affects our body. And I was speaking to a friend of mine. She moved from her old home to a new home, and she basically, her new home is very uplifted, it's very light, it's a beautiful place. And her old home, she told me, we were just discussing this the last day, it was very dark, it was very drab. And the thing is, her ex-partner is living in that home. So she went back to that old home to visit him, obviously, to talk about things, or you know, what people do. And she said the minute she went in there, she could feel her posture drop. Because through this mindfulness course, I was sharing with her the ideas and the techniques. And it was amazing, just from the little snippets that I gave her, she was able to sense her body, and she knew automatically that when she went into this space, her energy dropped, and even her body, her posture dropped. So it's amazing, you know, when we put ourselves in negative situations, or in situations where we just don't feel comfortable, or we don't want to be. Now, like I said, that could be a job, that could be having a bad diet, that could be in a bad relationship, that could be just your routine that you can't break out of, that could be smoking, that could be drinking, that could be anything basically. It could be anger, it could be, you know, all the emotions that we feel. But so what the awareness she came away from it was that basically, you know, that she had made the right decision to leave that home, and for herself and her partner to separate as well, you know. Because the minute she walked away from it, she felt uplifted, and everything in her life started to change, you know. So it's amazing, you know, when you're in touch with your body and you start to notice how you're feeling in certain situations. So that would be one of my biggest tips. When you go into someone's home, are they listening to you? Are they responsive to you? Are you listening to them? Another very important part of mindfulness is listening to people. You know, actually really listening, not just sitting there, yeah, and the brain is on autopilot and you're not really taking in what they're saying. And then the conversation, like I spoke about before in previous videos, can go on actually double the time, because you're asking, what, wait, what? You know, because you're hearing little snippets of the conversation, you're only picking up what you want to hear. And then when something interesting pops out, you're asking, what, sorry, can you repeat that? But it's much simpler if you just sit and actually listen, you know, and take in what people are saying, because then you don't have to waste time asking what they said and all these things. But what my friend was saying basically anyway, that she realised that, you know, that basically she'd made her right decision, and that her body, she feels more in touch with her body now. And also on the course, obviously when it's mindfulness, they give you a breathing space. Now this is one of the most important tips I also have to give. The breath is the most important thing. If you're not taking in your breath properly and exhaling properly, it affects everything in your body. So I will probably do another video on the breath just for people so they could learn more about it, because it's so broad. I don't want to go too far into it, but just basically taking a deep breath in through your nose and feeling your belly expand, and then. And what I found really interesting about this, about the breathing as well, is for smokers. The reason that many people smoke is because they're inhaling the cigarette and they're exhaling the cigarette. So that's probably one of the main reasons people become addicted to cigarette smoking. So a good way for people to stop smoking would be to practice the breath, and obviously to cut down the cigarettes and see if the breath can help them do that. Now also in stressful situations, or in a moment where you don't want to react, like I said, the reptilian brain is the part of the brain, the primitive brain, is the part of the brain that we react instantly without thinking. and we can become angry without thinking. The breath is another way also to break through that. If we can see that we get this feeling, if we're in touch with our body and we feel an anger coming up or we feel negative thoughts coming up, that's the time to take a breath, you know, and you don't have to make it so obvious to people. You can just do it in your own way, and that will give you space in your mind to actually realize your responses, and you will actually respond much more calmly and with more clarity, you know, without saying something that later you probably feel sorry about. So what else did I learn from this course? Also, we did the meditation. Like I said, we had the breathing space. We also had body scan. This again is to get the mind in touch with the body, also to start realizing what's going through our head, and you start to see all the things that you start thinking about next week or last week, or this happened, all the patterns, the resentments we have, all these things, you know. So it's a very good thing to check out as well, is the body scan. You can also go here into YouTube and type in body scan, and I'm sure that you will find thousands of videos on it. So definitely worth checking out, and something to put into your everyday life. Even if you just start with the breathing space, if you check on YouTube for a 3-minute breathing space, you will find a video on it. My advice would be to start that even for 3 minutes in the morning and 3 minutes before you go to bed at night. After a week, maybe start your body scan, do your 3-minute breath in the morning and do your body scan, and then do your 3-minute breath in the evening and do your body scan. And then after a while, you can go on to different meditations. On the 4th week, they brought us through a self-realization period of where we get to know ourselves more. We stand back and we see our thoughts. We start to release negative emotions. We bring in positive psychology, and we start to, to do self-love, self-care, and self-forgiveness. And of course, after we forgive ourselves and we love ourselves, we start to realize that we're all one. Every person is the same. We all have this reptilian brain, as I was saying, and this neocortex, and we all sometimes make mistakes, and we all act out of the primitive brain. And then what this does, actually, it kind of gives you clarity of mind to see that even the people that have hurt you, have done the most dreadful things to you in your life, or maybe the person who made the bad remark at you, or the person who passed you out in the queue, simpler things as well, or the person who didn't say something very nice to you, was working off of their autopilot brain, their patterns, their self-beliefs. Because anything that somebody does to you, you have to realize it's something within themselves. It's a pattern in them. It's something they've learned. It's a memory they have of something that happened to them in their past, like I've spoke about earlier, that our memories, our bad experiences, our good experience, they're all here in this brain. So it's so important. If you want to become an empathetic person, if you want to be an aware person, if you want to be able to not control, but to be aware of your emotions and get your emotions to work for you, mindfulness is the way to go. That is my advice to anybody. This will make sure that you're in touch with your body, you're in touch with your health, you're in touch with your mind, and overall your well-being will improve, your mental health will improve, and you will get this amazing, what I found for me on this week is the self-love that I have gained from it. Not only that, even the people in my past, in my present, that I thought that I had resentments for, I forgave. And actually, after I forgave them, I got the realization the number one person I really have to forgive is myself for holding the resentment towards these people. So the realization is for me that basically anything I hold against somebody else, no matter what they have done to me, no matter what they have said to me, is not affecting that person. It's affecting me, because it's my thoughts, it's my body, it's my feelings, it's my emotions. And the more I let these things go on in my mind, they affect my heart rate, they affect my breathing, they affect my life, they stop my dreams, because I'm wasting time. So basically, that's just one little snippet. I could go on for hours and hours and hours with all the realizations that I got from this. But if I had to break it down very simply, I'm already on now 24 minutes. I'm just looking here on the time. So I hope this video isn't too long, but if I had to break it down simply, you will know yourself, you will love yourself more, you will take care of yourself more. Maybe not all straight away, but you will see the path, you will see the steps to where you want to go. You will forgive others for the things they have done to you, because you will realize that when you don't forgive, that the only person that it affects is yourself. So what I found was they gave us a loving kindness meditation. You can also check that out on YouTube. I've seen many videos with this meditation, and I think they saved it for the last was because they wanted to kind of get us motivated and to get all this positive psychology in, because this for me was the most emotional part. I have to be totally honest. Everything came up, all the negative things, the people, because they say to you in meditation to forgive, they ask you the people that upset you and all these things, you to think about them. And what I found was this huge well first of emotion and hurt, but then after that, the more I did it every evening this week, the more I became more present and aware that my body, how it felt when I had these thoughts towards the people that I thought had done something wrong to me or had said something wrong to me. I realised that I had to forgive myself, forgive those people, but more importantly, to forgive myself for putting this energy into my body, this negative energy, and to accept as well that it was not something I did deliberately, because this is how the brain works. This is the thing I'm trying to get across here. If we're not aware of how our brain works, then it's not possible to be able to rectify it. So that's why I spent so much time in this video trying to get across the importance of knowing your patterns, getting to know yourself. Now, as I say, this course was just Mindfulness on the Move was the name of it. It was very simple. You got your theory, you got your meditations. It was really down to the individual to put in the work. I will say that about it. There was no baby spooning you or anything like that. It was really down to you. I say with this course, what you put in is what you get out. So I know that there's a mindfulness institute for Australia, and I know there's a British Mindfulness Institute and there's an Irish Mindfulness Institute. With this course that I did, and it was actually very reasonable. It was only €49, and I checked in Australia, it's $69. So in sterling, I don't know how much it would be, but my advice would be anybody who are in those countries, for that price, it is well worth checking out. Now, for all my other subscribers across Europe and America and everywhere else, I'm sure that if you check online, you will definitely find a Mindfulness Institute also that you could do a little mini course on as well. And the one I did was Mindfulness on the Move. And as I say, it was really down to yourself. You had to put in the time and the effort. Basically, an hour a day is all you need for 4 weeks. If you put in an hour a day, you will come out with amazing breakthroughs. And the most beautiful thing about this is they leave the platform open for you, so you can always go back into it, because this is an online course. And you also have a Wellness Pal, which is on Android, and you can use it on Apple as well, where you can just click in your phone. So they send you emails as well through to your emails, which you can look at on your computer, and the theories, you can print that out, which I've done myself. I printed out all my theory, because this is something I'm going to continue. Even though I've had the 4 weeks and I've felt the breakthroughs, but I know that the way the brain works now, that it's something I have to work on continually. So what I would say to people is definitely, even if you're not ready to do a mindfulness course, maybe you want to start with just meditation or something like that. YouTube is full of meditation. You can find amazing meditations. One of the top meditation teachers I can recommend is Jason Stevenson. He's got a channel here on YouTube, and he's an Australian gentleman, and he's got an amazing voice, and he has a meditation for absolutely everything from motivation to lovingkindness. I'm sure he's got body scans, he's got ones for anxiety, for confidence, he's got affirmations, the list goes on. So I hope that this came across okay, and that I didn't make it very complicated. If you have any questions about this course, please drop them below. Please don't be shy. Ask me. I have no problem answering. And as I said, I'm going to put in the description below the last videos that I did on mindfulness, as they're more detailed and you get more of an insight while I'm actually on the journey. So I'd love to thank all my subscribers for supporting me through this journey, and I thank you all for hitting the like button and for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I will definitely be continuing my mindfulness. What I'm thinking to do is maybe on Mondays to do a mindful few minutes, just to basically for myself, so that I can be aware and to help other people to become aware in their lives too. Also, what I'd like to mention here, I had mentioned it in my last video about this book. It's called The Artist's Way, and it's by Julia Cameron, and it's a spiritual path to higher creativity and a course in discovering and recovering your creative self. So very soon I'm going to be taking up this 12-week course. If you want to know more about it, go back to my last video, which I will also put in the description below. So if anybody out there would like to do this one with me, you can pick up this book and you could tag me and we could do the journey together, or we could mention each other. But this is an amazing book, not just because when people hear The Artist's Way, they automatically assume that you have to be an artist. Now, Julia, in this book, it's not just, everybody has an art basically, so it doesn't matter whether you're cooking, doing makeup, self-development, writing a book, singing, creating music, just cooking, whatever. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It is an art, and this is a very good book to help you to get stronger at your art. And she also has a very good method of morning pages. And basically the morning pages would be when you wake up in the morning, you start to journal all the things that are going on in your mind. So there's no real trail of thought, just basically like what I was saying, all the stuff, what I was saying in the mindfulness, you know, the way we have all this blah blah blahs going on in our mind, and I must go to the shop, and I must brush the floor, and I must feed the child, you know, just the basic things that are in our heads, you know, or I have to put up that curtain over there, which I'm looking at over there because I must do that. You know, the way we have little things going on in the back of our mind basically. So what I like about this book, for me, it's going to help me again to continue my mindfulness, but not only that, it's going to bring out my creativity in all the things that I want to pursue. And I want to get to a point where I make this channel a little bit more better quality, you know, and I'm hoping that this book will help me along for all those things. So if there's anybody else interested in doing The Artist's Way, I will hopefully next week we'll do the introduction to it, and then from there I will be giving you weekly updates. It's a 12-week course, so every week you will be doing tasks that she asks you to do, and there'll be one artist date a week where you carry out yourself off and you do something that inspires you. So I'm really excited to do this book. If you want to know more about it, please go back to my last video. It was the most recent video I did. Go back and watch that. But anyway guys, thank you very much again for watching. I know this video is about 33 minutes. It's after going on a bit long, but there was no way I could actually put this in a shorter video. There was just so much information, and as I say, I couldn't even get it all in. If you're interested in going back on it, please go back on my channel, and I'll put the links below as well so you can check them there. And I'm going to say goodbye to you all, give you all a big kiss, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday here in Ireland. Happy Friday and happy days to you all. Bye for now.